Hi guys. I must have struggle net going on over here and don't know it. I don't know what that was about. Must be all this red going on, messing with my Wi-Fi. Hey guys. I hope everybody realized that I went out and they come back over here. They come over here. Hi. Hello. 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 Thank you guys for coming back. Gotta find me a cough drop. But like I was saying, even though she was in a special wing, they said that they may need her room, which I found odd, but I said, okay, whatever. So I packed up her stuff, and it was all in the car when I came home that weekend. And when I went up there, I was in my aunt's car. So when I came home, I had all of our stuff with me. I did not have to pack up anything at the hospital. All I had to do was come home. I said, nobody but God. He knew that when I left that hospital, I wasn't coming back. And in retrospect, thinking back over our conversations, because we were pretty much confined to that room for 2 weeks, and thinking back over our conversations during this time, she kept saying, "When you go home, when you go home, when you go home." And it did not dawn on me at the time when she would be talking, but later I noticed that she would say, "When you go home." She already knew. That's I don't know if I don't know if God told her or she talked. I don't know, but I just feel in my heart that she already knew. And at her funeral, my grandmother, who had previously lost a child and talked me through losing my son, I watched her pretty much just give up on life. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, she just had the look of a broken person. She handed me her earrings that I had been asking her for years, and she never would give them to me. She handed me her earrings, and she told me she wanted my friend to come and sing her song. And he came and he sang her song, and she got quiet. And at that point, from that day on, it was dementia setting. It was conversations with people who were no longer here. It was talking to us and then just totally wandering in conversation. It was talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, it was crazy to watch. Um, it was hurtful. It was scary to watch. Um, okay, okay, great. I will go and look at the replay and follow her. Um, so I helped my grandpa take care of her because it was just the two of them. My aunt lived in Virginia and my mom was gone, my uncle was gone. So I helped him take care of her, and still at this point not working. Um by now my husband and I had started dating. We went from being friends to dating. And yes, I think I had a struggle net moment. I'm sorry. Um we were dating now, and he would help when he could. Um and finally we had to put her in a nursing home because she got to the point where she wouldn't walk. I won't say she couldn't, I will say she wouldn't. Um, so we had to put her in a nursing home, and that crushed my grandfather. And it was hurtful for me because my grandmother was strong. I mean, she was just like the person that, was just, you got to hold it together for everybody else. And you can't just be emotional all the time, and you can't just this, that, and the other, and to watch her go from that to talking to herself and talking to people who weren't in the room was just baffling and hurtful to me. And after we lost her, she died in the same hospital room that my mom did, in a city that we don't even live in. Y'all, let me tell you, like, I nothing but God is keeping me from being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because that was some craziness to me. I was standing there and I thought about it. Like, I looked around and it just felt so familiar, and I was like, this was the same room that my mom was in. It was 2 years later, but it was the same room. And after she passed, my grandfather kind of went over the edge. Strong man, always worked 5, 6. I always joked and told my grandpa he was a Jamaican. You know how they always say the Jamaicans have a bunch of jobs? Because he would always work a lot of jobs and doing nothing. Tinkering with stuff, calling me on the phone, asking me how to get to somewhere that he used to go all the time, eating the same stuff every day, going to the grocery store and buying 2 and 3 of things he already had. And it kept getting worse. And finally I said, he can't live by himself. He can't be by himself like this. And my husband and I were in the process of planning the wedding. We're getting married and everything. And I have to go and stay with my grandpa. Stress. Stress isn't even the word. I had gone back to school. Because my grandfather was good at this point when I started back to school. So I'm back in school. And I'm trying to take care of him. Trying to plan a wedding. Stress was not the word. And he's getting worse. He's just getting worse. And believe it or not, guys, I spent my wedding night in the emergency room with my papa, because they called. He wanted to leave early, so they left early. He walked me down the aisle, and he wanted to leave early. They left, and then they called as we were getting ready to clean up and said that they had to take him to the emergency room. It is. It is a whole lie. They were taking him to the emergency room because he was lying on the floor, and they asked him why he was on the floor, and he said that he was praying. And they knew something was wrong. So they took him to the emergency room, and that's where I spent my wedding night, in the emergency room with him. My aunt was here for the wedding, so she stayed about a week, and he seemed to be getting better. They said that it was a urinary tract infection, and that's why it had him talking out of his head. That's what it does to older people. Okay. So I ended up taking him to the hospital a couple of times, and then I took him to the hospital one day, and he talked incessantly from 10:30 that morning to 2:45 the next morning, because they still hadn't put him in a room. He talked the whole time, and I knew right then something was not right. And the next morning, when I got back to the hospital, he was grabbing at the air, and I asked him what he was doing, and he said, I'm trying to move that. and there was nothing there to move. And from that point, it never got any better. He still knew who I was. He knew who I was until the day he died. He may not have known who anybody else was, but he knew who I was. He called the CNAs at the nursing home me. He called nurses me. He called the other grandchildren and the other children me. And it was pretty much just me because my other, like I said, my aunt's in Virginia. She's not coming to help. And my cousins aren't coming to help. Nobody's coming to help. So it's just me. And hey, sassy Mimi. Hey, boo. Taking care of Papa. Taking care of hubby. Trying to finish school. Y'all, when I tell y'all it's been a test, it has been a test. I said all that to say this. No matter what it is that you're going through, if you just say, God, I need help. If He doesn't do anything else, He will help you. Because I know for a fact that's the only reason I'm not crazy. I have seen people go crazy for less. I have seen people on the verge of committing suicide because their boyfriend left them, or they broke up with somebody, or it's not that serious. It's really not. I mean, I didn't tell y'all, my cat that I had for 15 years died in between me losing the baby and losing my job. So back to back, I lose my son, my cat that I had for 15 years, my job, my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, back to back to back to back. And I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Now, I'm going through myself physically. I don't know if it's fibromyalgia. I have been diagnosed with a severe vitamin D deficiency, which mirrors fibromyalgia. But my vitamin D levels are going back up, and I still feel like I've been run over by a Mack truck. So I'm headed for a second opinion. So on top of all the loss, now I'm going through. Can't work. And I'm stressing because my husband's paying all the bills, and he's in school. He's doing an internship, and I feel like I'm not helping him out. I feel worthless. I feel useless. And he's always fussing at me because he's like, you're not useless. You're not worthless. You take care of the house, and you do this, and you do that. And I'm like, I can't even do that properly because I'm a clean freak. And when I tell y'all, like, he used to complain because the house always smelled like Clorox, which I love. And now is him having to clean up when he's not working, or when he's not doing schoolwork, or y'all, it's stressful. Oh my God. It's stressful because I feel like I'm useless. I feel like I don't serve a purpose, but doggone it, I do. And you guys on Periscope, especially Jamila and Sassy Mimi 30, guys like that are showing me that, and Janine, you're showing me that this right here is a purpose. Getting on Periscope and telling my story is a purpose, because there's somebody else out there who's going through that feels like, I can't take this. I can't do this. And that's all we can do is fight. That's it. And, they feel like I can't deal with this. Suicide is not the answer. Drugs are not the answer. Depression, depression drugs are great. I take Zoloft for anxiety, but that's because I have separation anxiety, rightfully so. But it's not worth it to just give up on life. And that's pretty much what I was doing at a point, because when I lost everybody, and then I couldn't go to work because I am going through physically, that's when depression started setting in. It was like, okay, I've lost everybody, and now I think I've been taking care of people so long that I don't know how to take care of myself, if that makes sense. Um, and I'm trying to learn that. And I'm right now, I'm at the point where I'm thinking, I can't remember who said it. Um, if it was Mama Louise, I think it was Mama Louise that said that when you've been taking care of everybody else, sometimes God has to bump you so you will sit down and take care of yourself. And I think that's the point I'm at now, where he's telling me, okay, now it's time to chill out and take care of you. And I can't feel like I'm worthless because I can't work right now. What I can feel like is I can take this time to work on me and figure out who I am outside of taking care of everybody else. And that's what I'm doing. I'm working on business plans. I'm working on. I've gotten 3 degrees. In this time, I got 3 degrees during all of this craziness. It can be done. I got married in all of that craziness. It's possible. There's life in bad situations. You just have to make the choice to see the good in the bad. The good that I found, I feel like my mom left me here because she always used to say she was a burden, which she was not. She absolutely was not. That was my baby. That was my boo. She was not a burden. But I feel like she left me here to do all the things that she wanted to do and wasn't able to do, and all of the things that she wanted me to do that I wouldn't be able to do if I were taking care of her. I feel like I'm supposed to share my story about HELLP syndrome because so many people don't know what it is. So many people have never heard of it. And can you imagine how many women go through that with losing their babies and everything and don't know why? Because they're in a, like me, little country place that doesn't know, about this stuff. And, oh, thank you. And I feel like I gotta get that story out. And I gotta get the story out about losing all of these people. I mean, significant people. Everybody that raised me. Back to back to back to back. My mom's best friend just died last year. She stepped up and stepped in when my mom died. So 2 mamas gone. Just HELLP syndrome. HEL capital LP. HELLP syndrome. And I'm just gonna keep sharing my story. I know people get tired of hearing it, and I felt like I was whining and complaining. But if I tell my story and people choose to take it as whining and complaining, then maybe it's not for them. The story's not for them. And maybe it's not for them at the time. Maybe it'll be for them later on when they start going through. My best friend's mom just died, and I was there because I've been there and I knew how to help her through it. So in the pain that I've been through, I can take it and I can help other people get through theirs, and maybe they won't, people who aren't so strong can see that you can be strong, that you can be okay if you pray and ask God for strength and peace and understanding. He will absolutely give it to you. All you got to do is ask. Absolutely give it to you. So that's me and my story. And you're welcome. That's me and my story. I'm gonna keep telling it. I probably won't tell it again on Periscope for a while, but I'm gonna keep telling my story because there are people who need to hear it. And Periscope is a great platform. Anybody who wants to view my videos can view them. And you're kind of limited on other platforms, but here you're not limited. The sky isn't even the limit. So I love you guys for coming in and listening to my long story, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you so much. I try. I have a wonderful support system, and that makes a difference as well. That's why I try to be a support system for other people. Some people say that, oh, thanks. Some people are like, well, you've been through so much and blah blah blah, and no, thank you for listening. Thank you. You've been through so much, and I don't want to bother you and blah blah blah. I've been through so much, so I can help you get through what you got to go through. So what's the problem? I'm okay. So we need you to be okay. So I need you to call me, text me, inbox me, email me, write me, call me, whatever. And send up some smoke signals, whatever you got to do to say, girl, I am going through and I need some strength. Hey, I mean, that's the least I can do. I can't get on somebody's job and punch a time clock. So dang, I mean, I can pray for you. I can come and sit with you, look at you, whatever, something. That's the least I can do. I'm make you laugh, something. So just even you guys. I mean, just because I don't know you and you don't know me, doesn't mean we can't get to know each other. My handle is Miss Naked Bliss, which is, by the way, my business name. People go, "Oh, what's that about?" It's my business name, but that's another story. At Miss Naked Bliss or Courtney McNeely Jones on Facebook. Reach out if you just need somebody to listen. Sometimes listening is the main thing. It's not always talking. Sometimes it's listening. So, if you guys just want to vent about something, if you just, you're holding something in and you feel like nobody will understand or nobody wants to hear it, or, you don't want to tell somebody because you feel like it's going to get out there. You don't, you'll hear it again in the street. Inbox me, tweet me, whatever. And I thank you guys so much for being here and listening. And thank you for the hearts and the shares. And I hope to see you guys again soon. And I can't stop this broadcast. Must be a sign. Anybody got any questions or anything? Exactly. Oh, thank you. And I got the phone all in my face because I can't see. So, I'm sorry, y'all gotta look at my big red lips so close. Anybody got any questions or anything? Okay. Well, if not, I'll see you guys again soon. Out in Pearland. Love y'all. Mwah. I'm well today. Oh, thank you. See, I think so too some days. Look over me, I'm crazy. I feel better today than I felt in days because that rain and cold last week was kicking my butt. But I got all the heat on today, so I'm okay. And I'm gonna try to end this broadcast. Want to see what happens. I'm just press the home button because Periscope is trying to give me the business and I ain't having it. All right, y'all have a great night.